begin. I'm Lainey.
And I'm Laura Beth.
And we are Steel Magnolias.
Two sisters who love family, traditions, and all things Southern.
We've got plenty of room at our table, so pull up a chair. Hey, Laura Beth.
Hey, Lainey.
Ooh.
Got you some cheer wine. I don't know why I always love cheer wine around this time. I think it's
because it's red.
Well, I think I love that holiday punch. I made some this weekend for a get-together, so that must be it. I wonder if the fizz is going to come through on the recording that we're doing right now.
I don't know, but I think it's partially because it's red. Because, I mean, that just looks like Christmas in a glass.
It does. When you garnish this, though, with the punch,
some cranberries. So cute.
Mean, I started to garnish it, actually, with some pineapple slices. Because it has, the punch recipe calls for unsweetened pineapple juice. But
cranberries are holiday.
My husband doesn't like pineapple juice either, and that would only remind him that I had
it's
put
in there.
pineapple juice in there.
Oh, my goodness.
So,
he's a trip.
I know.
Finicky eater.
I know. Okay, so we are ready to talk about what we did as our little sneaky initiative over the weekend. So we were thinking earlier this year about how we wanted to celebrate our 1-year anniversary of this podcast.
We've been doing this for a year.
I know. I'm so proud. And weekly, too. Not monthly.
I know.
Weekly. So, yeah. And y'all, we're not even close to getting through the list of topics. So, buckle up.
Oh, Lord, no.
So, anyway, we were thinking about what do we want to do? And we kept thinking about all these different, like, Southern products we loved, hospitality, hosting, entertaining. And so we were
That's such our heart, all of those things.
What if we kind of approached some different Southern companies, Southern brands, Southern products, and asked them, hey, we're going to send some packages out to some of our listeners at random, and we're going to, give you some credit for participating. But
would you want to participate?
Would you enjoy getting to know some people that love Southern culture? And we got some good responses.
Yes.
So, you want to tell everybody what we did over the weekend?
Well, we picked, I so wanted every single person to get one of these packages. Yeah. Every single listener, I wanted to get one. But we only had a limited number of things that were donated, and then we were paying out of pocket to send them all out.
Yes.
So with those two things in mind, we couldn't send them to everybody. So we had to randomly just grab.
Yes. So those of you that have left your mailing address on our email sign up, we randomly selected
picked from those.
Yeah. So those people that we had mailing addresses for, we picked 25 of y'all. And you've gotten your packages now that we hope will get you inspired and ready for the holidays. So I did want to give a really big thank you to White Lily Flour.
Yes.
They sent us product. Holmsted Fines, which has been named as the South's Chutney. They've made several Southern living lists. They supplied a green tomato chutney and even gave us recipes for a grilled cheese that you can use it on, which looked wonderful. We wanted to keep some of that for ourselves.
Yes, we didn't even keep any. We sent it all out.
Ideals Magazine, which is celebrating their 75th anniversary this year of that publication.
1944.
Yes, they do an Easter and a Christmas magazine. They're actually based here in Nashville, and that includes all sorts of poems and just beautiful
few recipes and just sweet stories.
Yeah.
Essays, different things. Yeah.
And Hester and Cook, which we have described them today or on previous episodes as their beautiful paper products they have for hosting and entertaining and tableware. Is that what you would say?
That's a perfect way to say it. Yeah. So they participated by giving us some cards.
Yes, they gave us beautiful greeting cards. And, we even stuck in a little She Reads Truth 8x10 from their Advent series of just beautiful sayings and hand-scripted.
So pretty.
Handwriting. So
if you did get one of the boxes, we hope that will inspire you to invite somebody to your table for the holidays. And if you didn't, we love you equally.
Still love you. And we would encourage you, too, if you are not on our mailing list, I will put the link to join in our show notes, because you just never know
what we're going to do.
What we might be up to. We probably will not save all of our sweet giftings for the holidays, but that's what we were able to do this year.
And I hope we just continue to grow with the influence to be able to do more and more, because that's our heart.
We like to give.
Give, yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun. Love it, love it, love it. Hope you guys enjoyed your packages.
I would love to see any pictures, anybody, of something you do with one of your items or something. Would love to.
They were sealed as well. That was Lainey's idea, with this beautiful wax seal that said Merry Christmas. So a couple people did let me know that was
a special thing. Oh, good.
In their package. So
I've said we're old fashioned, and those wax seals are so pretty.
They are. They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I have a set, and I forget about it. Of course, given to me by you.
I just love stuff like that,
and it does. It adds so much. So, can we talk about Dolly Parton's America podcast?
Yes, let's do.
Okay, so this released October 15th.
Okay.
Not even, I guess right at a month ago. And there's 5 episodes that are out, but that's only if you count the first one as like a trailer.
Yeah,
so really 4
full-blown episodes. And there's going to be 8 or 9?
I think 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Total. And it comes out weekly.
Okay, maybe Tuesdays? I don't know.
I think that's right.
Okay. So I listened to...
So listen to ours, and if you still have time, listen to this.
Yeah, priorities. I listened to all of them in the last 72 hours.
Okay.
So everything's pretty fresh on my mind, although...
give me grace, because I've listened slowly.
But I will say this, it jumps around a lot, because it's not just an interview with Dolly.
Right. In fact, I would love to know how much actual interview
they got.
Because it could be just a couple of hours, and then he was able to stretch it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because it's, sometimes just him talking, this host.
Yes.
Sometimes he's talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the interesting piece to begin with is the guy that's interviewing her is a Tennessean, but he is Lebanese in his family ancestry. Uh-huh. His dad was born in Lebanon, and his dad is a doctor. And at some point in Dolly's life, crossed paths with Dolly, like as her caregiver, and friended her.
Became friends.
And so that was the connect that this host had. Because I was like, what's happening?
How did he get time with Dolly, and how do we?
That's true, yeah. Because I was thinking that it would have been conducted by somebody on Music Row, or some, one of her previous colleagues,
That's what made this kind of interesting and how old do you think this guy is? He sounds young.
No, he's probably in his 40s. Okay. I saw a picture of him. In fact, there was also an interview.
Well, it's funny because what you think is young changes. I would have said he's young, meaning he was like 30s. So I'm not that off.
So true. I just had this conversation the other day with somebody of when does it change? When do you, there's his picture right there. So when... Oh,
yeah, he's older than I expected.
He's in his 40s, right?
Okay. Well, I remember when Dad turned 50.
Yes.
And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, he's 50? Like he's
so old.
Further into his life than... Mm-hmm. Like he's got less to live, most likely, than he already has lived.
Right.
Oh my gosh, he's so old. Well, doesn't seem so old now that I'm approaching that.
Yeah.
So
it's true. So however you take 40s, that's about how old I'm guessing him to be. Yeah. So, again, just about halfway through what's going to be released. And they have talked everything from songwriting to her upbringing in Tennessee, which she talks about a lot in life. Dollywood is discussed a lot. Her theme park in East Tennessee, in Sevierville. Her diverse fan base. So anyway, what are there things that struck you that stood out to you? Because I had a few things that I was just like, I need to rewind that and hear that again.
So much stands out to me. I actually had noticed the diverse fan base already before listening to the podcast, because I've been to a show.
You've been to her show.
I know some of people that would say they love her,
right?
And they are all very diverse.
That's so funny.
So that's just something I personally had already noticed.
Yeah.
couldn't really tell you the why of it, but I just had noticed it.
Yeah.
Right. And I have my own reasons as to the why. I think that there's the why piece of that. But the things that have stood out to me on the podcast so far, some are things I already had noticed and some things aren't. Like the episode of the first, or the title of the first episode, and I mean full-blown episode, not the trailer, has to do with some of the content in some of the songs of bluegrass nature. Yeah. And I thought that was interesting.
I've never thought about ballads of, like, Appalachia containing murders, containing just deep betrayals, women that had to give up their children, like just
horrific things,
very horrific things.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then another thing that stood out to me significantly so far in this podcast is just how, well, I don't want to. Is it okay? I don't want to give too much away. But
okay, spoiler alert. So, fast forward 3 minutes if you don't want to hear this next part while we finish talking about this.
So the guy interviewing starts talking about his dad in Lebanon.
This was the most interesting thing to me too,
and how
we're such sisters.
We are sisters. Well, we have some of the same upbringing,
right?
I mean, I was around longer than you. Or before you, so not everything's the same. But I think it's fascinating that her home that she grew up in, and she was very poor in this, Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, translates for him in a very similar upbringing, even though he's in Lebanon.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, I just find all of that piece fascinating. It doesn't matter if you're in Tennessee or Lebanon. Poverty looks similar.
It does.
No matter where you live.
Yeah.
If you're in China, if you're in
Rural
Israel.
living, right?
Yes.
Unpopulated areas are unpopulated areas.
Yeah.
So the landscape may look different or similar, but the sense of vast openness is the same. Yeah, so our family is also from
this
East
same
Tennessee.
area. Yeah.
Very
and
close.
our mom grew up very much like Dolly in the sense of the poverty level, just not the number of children.
There are so many things that Dolly says in the way that she says that. And
you're like, that's Mom.
That's how Mom would answer that.
Yep.
Very short, sweet. I'm going to shut that down. We'll talk more about that in just a second. But, they talked about in that same episode where the music of Dolly was described as immigrant music.
I thought it was so fascinating.
And I was like, what? Immigrant music? And then I'm quoting them now. Talking about the human story being about migration and the movement of people. It's about one group moving from A to B. And in that, they affect, and they themselves are also affected. So who came through? Where did they come from? So they're talking about music being kind of a backdrop that draws from where somebody just came from and now where they're moving to, and they're bringing that into the area.
Yeah.
But they're also now affecting their new area by sharing their stories and their experience, and literally even bringing their instruments from that place.
Yeah.
So, it reminded me of actually that statement, a lot of what we feel like our role is on this podcast.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to remind people of the good of the South and our traditions and our culture and heritage, but it's because we hope it gets passed on, despite large migration that's happening in the area. Yeah. So, anyway,
I loved that. My favorite of those episodes, I think, was the one. Was it called Tennessee Mountain Trance?
Yeah,
such a good episode. That one
is number 3, and then Neon Moss number 4 is where they talk a little bit about
that,
the migration.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, both of those were so good to me.
Yeah. So, and what's funny too is they describe the podcast as like Dolly's a view of Dolly's shaping of America or something like that. But really, it is the hosts trying to dissect the inner working of Dolly And then it's his guests and him seeing how Dolly shaped America. Dolly never says she shaped America.
Oh, gosh, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she would never take that credit. She would never think that she had that sort of influence.
Oh, one other piece that I want to mention that I think is so powerful is I knew a good bit about her relationship with Porter Wagner.
Okay, yeah, that one was wild.
So, but what I was blown away by was, I knew that even in her writing the song, I Will Always Love You, was kind of her, I would maybe say salute to him.
Yes.
Of like, you did so much for me, but
Yes.
now it's time for me to move on.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing,
Yeah.
but I'll always love you.
It was the ultimate 2-week notice, basically. Right?
Exactly, that's right.
I'm leaving. I honor you, but I'm
Yes,
leaving.
But I am leaving.
Yes.
What I didn't realize was how much forgiveness to a level that was astounding that she gave him. And you just need to listen to it if you want the full story. But it's astounding.
Yeah.
And I just thought, wow, that is a powerful example of forgiveness and being able to bless somebody.
Yeah, in a supernatural way.
In a supernatural way.
It's not in us to be able to be that kind on our own strength or might or...
So it was testimonial to me. I've known that there's a huge power in forgiving somebody, but that was kind of next level.
That is so good. So good.
So,
well, yeah, I'd recommend it. I don't know where it's going to go from here.
Yeah.
It's yet to be released, but it's been interesting.
Yeah.
And certainly something we wanted to mention here since she's
such a
Tennessean and always points back to her roots here. Mm-hmm. I mean, she talks about her roots probably more than anyone I see in the public eye.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely what steered her to, what she is today. And she knew from such a young age that she wanted to be a superstar.
I know.
But yet, she would say she had a very, very happy childhood. Mm-hmm. And, that it shaped who she was.
Yeah.
So good.
Good. Okay, so then there's also been this other celebrity talking about her roots and bringing up some faith.
Oh, a new Southerner.
Yes, a new Southerner. Did I say a Southerner already?
No, you didn't.
But a celebrity.
You said celebrity, but she's a new Southerner.
She's new to the South. Talk about migration. She has come to us via New York, and that would be Kathy Lee Gifford, who lives literally down the street now, which is so bizarre.
Like a mile from me, so...
But she's been really outspoken this week on some projects she's been here working on, and she's a new resident.
She went back to the Today Show to see Hoda and kind of, just banter with them a little bit about her new life.
They look like they're really sweet friends.
Yeah.
But very different now that she's here.
Yeah.
I mean, two totally different worlds they're living in.
So I went back to watch it. I didn't actually watch it as it was happening on the Today Show, but I went back and watched it.
Yeah.
And, it was really interesting.
I didn't see that. I just saw an article in our newspaper, The Tennessean.
Okay.
That she shared on how much kindness
that's what
is here.
Yeah.
She was just really vocal about the faith that's here in this community, and
she literally was saying, it's so different. Like, I loved one thing she said. She said, I literally can hear church bells ringing, which I can hear them from here, too. Yeah. She said, I can hear church bells ringing and birds singing. It's so different. And she said, if I do hear a siren, it's not because somebody's been murdered. It's somebody that's in need of some kind of help. But
interesting.
And I thought, wow, that's what she was used to thinking when she heard a siren.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. In the article in the Tennessean, she was sharing that she's in these, sort of really luxurious condos.
Yeah.
They call them brownstones. And she's moved in one, but I guess there was another one that's larger with a better setup that I don't know if she realized it after she'd moved in or when she...
Well, I wondered if she thought, I'll get this smaller one because this is just going to be one of my homes. I don't know, but that was kind of what I was thinking is.
Yeah.
And then she was like, no, I want to be here all the time. I need a bigger one.
Yeah, it could be. She's like sort of sinking in and starting to settle in.
Yeah.
Well, so she apparently fell in love with a neighbor home that she could even see all the time. Because, like I said, these are like brownstones where they're connected. And anyway, they probably, I think they share
a courtyard. Yeah.
The beautiful fountain. I mean, they're beautiful. They're gorgeous. And so she had noticed that, and then many months go by. She's only had one friendly exchange with the person that lives there. And I guess come to find out many, many months later, did she share this on the Today Show?
Not the part I saw, but I may not have seen the whole thing.
Many, many months later, she had already let a real estate agent know, like, looking for something bigger, and he knew she wanted that other brownstone. So he took her to a couple of places, and she's like, I hope I'm getting the story right. This isn't, no. He said, we have one more to look at, and it was that one.
Oh.
And she said, it's for sale, because this had been months, like maybe almost a year, that she had really decided that was where she wanted to move to. And she had let the neighbor know, too.
Okay.
If you ever decide to sell that, please let me know, because I want it.
Okay.
And they didn't let her know. They thought that was funny. But when she arrived to see the place, they said, the Lord told us we're supposed to sell this to you. She's like, that doesn't happen in Brooklyn, y'all. Like,
that's hilarious.
Does not happen.
Wow.
So, anyway.
Wow.
So Faith is definitely...
Did they want a smaller one? They could have just kind of done an exchange.
Brownstone swap on the next HGTV.
That's right.
So anyway, I guess I don't know if she's moved in yet or when all of that occurred, but she's still here in Franklin, and she's apparently just
loving
thriving.
That's so interesting.
Which doesn't surprise me at all. Like, when I found out she was moving here, I think I even said to you and some others.
Well, you knew that she had a real strong faith.
Right.
And then I read her book. I forget the title. It's something along the lines of The Rock, the Road, and the Rabbi, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like blown away by her knowledge of Hebrew and Israel and the importance of Israel. And I had no idea she was, that in depth in her faith and everything. So anyway, I'm not surprised that she likes it here either, but I guess I am a little surprised just, she comes from that, like, Connecticut, New York money.
Yeah. It is different.
It's very different.
Yeah. Well, and she was super outspoken. I don't know if you remember this. The morning that news broke that Billy Graham had died.
Yes.
She
forgot about
brought
that.
It on the Today Show. And that was where the news was breaking. So it's not like she had a lot of time to prepare.
Mm-hmm. It was overflow.
It was totally overflow.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what she thinks about, knows, studies.
Interesting.
And so anyway, but I do remember saying, she's going to love it here. I think she's going to really be surprised how awesome the South is.
And I forget that she was also a songwriter and all of that. Like, I guess I forget that she was...
16 albums is what it said.
Unbelievable.
She's done before, so... But yeah, it was interesting, because she said, every job I've left as a host, people keep saying, you're leaving your dream job. And she's like,
maybe it's your dream job. This isn't my dream.
I never wanted to be a talk show host. It's funny how we fall into stuff sometimes, though.
Fall into stuff and how people assume that that's what we want.
Yeah, that's what we've been working for.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what her future
Kathy
holds.
Lee. We're glad you're here. She's been here a couple of years, I guess, already. Time flies, but...
She just left that show 7 months ago. So
okay.
If she was here before that, it was part-time.
It was then. Okay, you're right.
What else you got?
Well, finally, I just wanted to bring up something that kind of tickles me. I know you're into Marie Kondo now.
Well, I'm just listening to the audiobook.
Okay,
but I'm into it.
I have not studied it or seen it. Is it a Netflix show too?
There is a Netflix series which I haven't watched.
Okay. But I would almost say that I've heard about her so much that when somebody says I'm like Marie Kondoing, or I understand that it means like I'm organizing, I'm cleaning out, I'm minimalizing.
I think she uses the word tidying, but
tidying. Okay. So I totally get what it means, and I'm big supporter of get rid of stuff if you don't need it. But I just thought it was funny because I did also run into you at the church rummage sale, and I was like, I thought you were Marie Kondoing. What are you doing with that Christmas plate in your hand?
I had one plate in my hand. That's all I bought, and it was literally to take cookies to my new next door neighbor. I have another new next door neighbor.
Okay, well, that's fair.
So that was the only purchase
to give away. But I did think it was funny because
you're like, what? I thought like, you were into this.
Do you not have another Christmas plate at your house?
And technically, I haven't started. So,
it's like a diet. I'll start on Monday.
Actually, I say that if you went in my room right now, I've already started, but I haven't officially done it. So there's an order and everything, and this is big deal.
Well, it is. I'm proud of you for doing this, or for
saying
moving this direction. I'll say that. But she wants you to do it all at once, in a succinct amount of time, right?
Yes. In fact, and she says that if you do it the right way, you don't rebound.
Oh. Now, you said you're listening to an audiobook of this.
I am.
So there's a book and a Netflix, I guess. Okay.
The Netflix series, because I did look at it, but I haven't watched it. It's just her in, I believe, 4 or 5 different homes. She goes in. So you're just watching the process with these people.
Okay.
It's not her saying...
Oh, I see.
The actual method. Though I guess you're getting to see it in action.
But it's probably better if you already know the method, that you can be like, oh, I see what she's doing there.
I guess. Yeah. I don't really know because I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
But the book is good in the sense of giving you kind of the why.
Sure. Yeah.
In fact, she actually has you start with answering a couple of questions.
Okay.
I didn't write this down because I didn't know we were going to talk about it. But
I've just been chatty today. This is a different episode for us.
It's kind of fun. People get to hear our just banter on topics.
Yeah, just shooting it.
But she basically has you answer a couple of questions on what is your ideal life, meaning you're in your home. What?
That's a big question.
Does it look like?
Yeah.
And then, because you do have to have a visual to get somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
So if I have a visual of what I want my house to look like, I'm going to be more likely to get it there than if I'm just
right, if you're whatever.
And I'm holding an item, wondering if I'm going to keep it.
Right.
I'm probably keeping it if I don't have that goal in sight of more floor showing. Or,
okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to have that visual.
Okay.
And it's not just what you want it to look like, but it's even she wants you thinking through what life looks like. She gives an example of this woman saying, I want to come home from work, run a bath, light a candle. She's literally got this idea of what it looks like when I come home from work.
Yeah.
So... with that, she was able to set her bathroom up with what she would want kind of on the ready. Not that I got to dig out a candle.
This is amazing.
And I've got to, it's going to be ready for what I want it to look like.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I would say is she has some questions for you to literally think through before you touch one item.
Wow.
Okay. Then...
pre-work.
She wants you to do it all at once, meaning there is categories.
Okay.
But you're going to, agree that you're going to do this thing. Not I'm going to do my bedroom, and then someday I'll get to the living room.
Okay.
And someday I'll get to the attic.
It's
you're either doing it or you're not.
In or out. Yes. Okay.
And so when you agree that you're doing it, that's why I was saying I haven't started really. Yeah. Because this is going to be kind of an undertaking. It's not like I can do it between massages. Right. I mean, this is, because I'm a massage therapist. That's why I said that. If somebody's listening for the first time, they're probably like, what? Between massages? What are you doing?
It's not like I can do it between facials. I mean, I've got appointments, y'all.
So that was weird that I said it that way. But anyhow, sorry, you guys. So here's the categories that she does. First, you do clothing.
Okay. That's
all
a big
clothing.
One, especially for us women.
And she was saying, if you're a family of 4...
Oh, it's everybody's clothing.
It's everybody's clothing. This is not...
Oh, gosh. Okay.
And I'm not going to get into all of that because she was saying, each person needs their own space and et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going into all that. If you want to do it, you need to read the book. But I'm just a single person. Right. So for me... But she did say you bring all clothing out to one place.
That is crazy to think about.
So for me, I have clothing currently in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different places.
Okay. Now, just so people know, you do live in a historic home that has some pretty small closets.
They're small, so I do need...
So that's not 5 walk-in closets.
Oh, Lord,
I just want to make sure people realize, like, you do have a lot of clothing. We all do, but...
But actually, I don't have what would be considered a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I just meant, like, I do have a few, like, I have a closet of bridesmaids dresses.
Stop it. Oh, no.
Like, that kind of stuff is in a further away closet.
Yeah.
And then in the upstairs, I have one little section of coats that I hardly ever wear.
Right.
And then some even like a cheerleading jacket, like things like that that are like kind of special.
Special, but
so special that I haven't touched them in like 15 years. And so anyway, I have to bring all clothing because it does make sense that you need to look at everything. Because if I'm just like dealing with one closet at a time, I may hold on to more than...
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Oh, and I was also thinking, I've also got some like different toboggans and scarves and stuff I rarely wear.
Yeah.
No, it all has to come out.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
So you deal with all your clothing. And what she says is
You're
have to...
You're making me want to do this, and I don't want to do this. Dang
You're
it.
the one who brought this up.
Well, I just thought it was funny because I saw you at the rummage sale.
Well, weren't you impressed? I only had one item in hand.
Yes.
But her funny thing that she has, you have to hold each item. And she asked, does it bring joy? Does it bring you joy is the whole gist of her. If you're like, and she, again, I can't go into everything, but she'll say like, not... should it bring me joy because it was a gift?
Yeah.
Or, like, does it or not?
Yeah. My favorite moment of today so far was this beautiful sweater poncho that Lainey's wearing. I saw her as we were walking into church, and I was like, that's pretty. She was like, I'm trying to see if it sparks joy.
I haven't worn it in so long, and I thought, I'm going to actually wear it and see if it...
Is it sparking joy?
It kind of is, but I'm also seeing... I think the problem why I haven't worn it much is I don't have a good thing to wear under it.
Oh, okay.
And so...
That's probably why you...
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still on the fence on that one.
It's pretty, but I'm not the one to make that decision.
I do have a funny story to tell about does it spark joy. I have a friend named Susan. I have several friends named Susan. I'm going to leave the last name off because I don't want to embarrass her. But you'll know the one. She has a lot of beautiful things.
Yes.
But way too many. So I saw her this week, and I'm all into the Marie Kondo thing. So I asked her, have you ever heard of Marie Kondo? And she said, no. And I said, oh, she's this cute little Japanese lady, and she does like organizing and tidying. And she goes, oh, is she the does it bring you joy person? And I said, yes. And she goes, oh, I just couldn't do it. I mean, I'm like, yes, it brings me joy. Yes, it brings me joy. Yes, it brings me joy.
She is.
And that is so who she is. She gets so excited about stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's funny.
I'm getting off topic. The categories, you do all your clothing.
Okay.
Then you do all your books.
Okay. Which
for me will be as big of a feat as the clothing.
That's true.
All your paper.
Oh, okay.
Paper
all
is all paper
in the house.
All paper. All warranties.
Oh
all
my god.
Credit card statements. All.
What kind of time frame does she think this takes people? Is this like use your 2 weeks of vacation? I'm not kidding.
And when I say that you have to do it all at one time, what I really mean is category too. Like you could do all clothing over a weekend maybe.
Okay.
And then, well, I'm saying you could do it this way. She may not think this is good, but I think you could do all clothing over a weekend, and then another time do all books, and then, but with that, always keeping that goal in mind.
Yeah.
Of, I wish I had it already complete before the holidays because I think it would be my best Christmas ever.
Wow.
If I had already done this. It's still going to be my best Christmas ever.
That's right.
So I'm going to choose that.
We're sparking our own joy.
But I really do mean that. Like, I think I would have had less to go through, and it would make it a lot more fun. Anyway, you do all your paper. That's fascinating to listen to her talk about, because she's like, you're not going to need all those warranties you're keeping. If you do, you can find it on the computer.
It's true. Yeah.
So then the fourth category is what she calls kimono. She is Japanese, and kimono, not kimono like
not the
dress, but Komono, just means miscellaneous.
Oh, okay.
So my guess is, and I can't remember what all she said falls under that, but it's everything that's not clothing, books, paper.
Okay. So we're sitting in your kitchen, so I'm sure kitchen supplies is...
Exactly. All of that. Bedding.
Yeah.
Like she was even saying, if you're keeping bedding for when guests come, and it's been in a bin for 10 years and you've not used it, it's not even, you wouldn't even want your guests to be sleeping on that now. So why are you keeping it?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Wow. And then the very last category is the sentimental items, because she said it is, the hardest.
Yes.
And so you're already getting close to that. Mm-hmm. Things looking so much better that it'll be a little easier.
Okay. That makes sense too.
Totally makes sense. I think there is a lot. She just asks a lot of good questions along the way. And then she does, one thing I would say, I do agree that there is like a spiritual element to cleaning and getting rid of things.
For sure. But
I do think we see it differently, spiritually differently.
Yeah.
But,
you and Marie, not me and you.
Yeah. Yeah. But two things that she says, if you're having a hard time getting rid of something, like it's not sparking joy, but you feel like you should hold it in.
Like, but I have to keep that,
She says that comes from an attachment to the past or a fear of the future.
Snap. Whoa. Hey.
And that neither one is good. Like, it's holding you back from possibilities.
Wow.
Even in new relationships or in a new job. That's huge.
So this, it kind of reminds me of that show Hoarding that has been already done. But I do think, these are psychological sort of moments that
and
really do.
It really gets you thinking of, like I started thinking of, I do have a lot of things from my childhood even that I've held on to. Like I mentioned, a cheerleading jacket. I think that was the first thing I ever had that had my name on it.
Oh, cool.
And it was like an identity thing. Sure. I had never had anything like that.
Something like embroidered or printed with your name on it.
I don't think I'd ever had anything that had my name on it like that. And I also was part of a chosen group and all of that. And so I think that's why I've held on to it. But why? That's
amazing that you're even able to name that that's what it is, though.
Well, I got thinking about it this week of why have I kept that?
Yeah.
And also, where do you donate it? It's like...
Is there anyone that's cheering now that's named Lainey?
Laine, Lainey. So just things like that where it's like, okay, it's time to let that go. Because what if... Yeah. So... she has a particular way of folding clothes and all that. So it is kind of
of what you are keeping. She's got
what you do
a way to organize
so
it.
that you can see it all and enjoy it. Because if it's you're only supposed to keep things that you love looking at and that really are celebrating what your life is or what you want it to be. And so I had a lot to say about that, and I didn't even know we were going to talk about it.
I thought you would, because I knew you were just starting to get into it.
Yeah.
And I could just tell it was, that even the concept was sparking joy.
Yeah, it is. Because I'm really looking at things like, I have literally bins and bins and bins of books.
Yeah, you do.
And I've been going, is it just so I feel smart? Because I read most of them?
Right.
Or is it, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I do love books, but that doesn't mean that I don't love books if I don't own a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I have a library card and
and we're in an interesting place where you and I grew up in a more less electronic generation, and we are on that cusp of people that, you know, are more used to physical goods, whether that be books, photographs, etc.
Yeah.
To now having more devices that we do know how to operate. You know, we're not nursing home age.
Yeah.
But, you know, so reminding ourselves, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, that, okay, so if I got rid of that book and I really did want to read it again, I can get it.
That's right. And she even says that if like, this is, again, one of those things where spiritually I don't know how much I agree with all of this part. But she says, like, if you're supposed to read it at a certain time, you're going to have it. Like,
okay, yeah.
Like, that book that you loved 20 years ago was for then. It's not for now.
And if it's meant for you to
readdress it,
then that opportunity will present itself.
Right.
Via you having a library you can get it through, or Kindle you can read it on.
She said, I have so many clients that have, like, so many books that they're going to read.
Yeah.
I am not kidding when I tell y'all I probably have at least 30.
30 books on your list
at least
to read?
Like, no, not on my list, in my bedroom.
Oh my gosh, Lainey.
I'm not kidding. And I really do have intention.
30
at least.
Y'all, I'm like rubbing my head in like
she has stressed
moments.
face right now. At least. So that is, I really need to get to this. But is the one that I need for December 2019, I will have it. And I don't need all those other ones.
I stress if my Southern Living sits on my coffee table for a week and I haven't cracked it yet. I definitely
Are we related? Are we related?
Oh my gosh, what an episode.
Oh, Libby's getting excited.
I know.
Too. She's scratching. Sorry, y'all.
Libby's been at our feet this whole time.
So good.
Girl. The little Springer Spaniel. If y'all don't know who Libby is, it's not a child.
That's right.
It's a dog.
Oh, and here's the funny, not so funny. So she basically, long story short, broke my coat rack today. Literally today. She knocked it over. It broke. But here's how Marie Kondo I am right now. I pick it up out of the floor, and I'm at first frustrated because it's broken. And then I notice how the natural light is coming through the window where it was. And I was like, I don't think I want a coat rack there. I can get my closet clean enough to just have the coats in there.
Wow.
And I don't want a coat rack. I want that light to come through. So we're just knocking it out over here.
She's on board with Marie Kondo. What a sweet girl. Oh, that's fun. I like that.
Good?
I do. I'm not going to say I'm going to try it, but I'm definitely going to be watching to see how yours goes.
Well, you don't know that I'm going to need your help on a couple of things. I'm about to get you involved. No.
Okay.
The paper part of getting rid of some of the paper, I know that my massage business needs to go more electronic with the paper. And I can't get rid of the paper until I do that.
Gotcha. So we're like having a scanning party?
No, I don't have to scan it all, but I do need to reset up some things to just be electronic and have people redo it.
Gotcha.
Like their intake forms and all that. So
fun stuff.
Fun times.
So that's what it's like to sit at the table with Lainey and I when we're just shooting the breeze.
Shoot the breeze.
Chatting
we
about.
always have tons to talk about.
Lainey literally keeps a list of things she needs to talk with me about.
Questions about. Yes.
That is a snapshot of what it looks like to just chat with us.
Did we just do a whole episode?
We did.
Of just fun catch-up?
Yes, we did. That's our catch-up.
I love that.
I know. Hope y'all had fun. And we will be back here next week with more Southern cultural topics and probably a little bit more sprinklings of Christmas. So
yes. Fun. We're getting into the season.
All right. Y'all have a good week, and we will see you here next time.